Meet Amara. She makes $400 a month. After rent, food, and transport, there is literally $20 left, sometimes less. She has tried budgeting apps. She has written out her expenses. She has tried cutting back. Nothing works. And every finance video she watches talks about saving $500 a month like that is just something everyone can do. It isn't. Not for her, and if you are watching this, probably not for you either. Here is the thing: most personal finance content gets completely wrong. It is built for people who already have enough. Save 20% of your income. Build a 6-month emergency fund. Max out your retirement account. All great advice. For someone earning $3,000 a month, for someone earning $400, that advice is not just unhelpful. It is insulting. It makes you feel like the problem is you, like you are bad with money, like you are behind because you are not trying hard enough. You are trying. That is why you are here. And the reason saving feels impossible is not because you are lazy or undisciplined. It is because the math is genuinely hard. When your expenses eat almost everything you earn, saving feels like being asked to pour from an empty cup. That feeling is logical. It is not an excuse. It is an accurate read of a difficult situation. But here's what I want you to hear before anything else. Difficult is not the same as impossible. And in a few minutes, I'm going to show you exactly how Amara turned $20 of leftover money into $340 in savings over 6 months, without a raise, without a side hustle that took over her life, without any of the advice that never worked before. Stay with me because this next part is important. Let's talk about why saving on low income feels so different from what the books describe. When you have a tight income, every dollar is already assigned before it arrives: rent, food, transport, phone, maybe a small amount for emergencies that never actually stays put. There is no float, no margin, no room for a mistake. And the worst part? When something goes wrong, a medical bill, a broken phone, an unexpected fare, there is nothing to absorb it. So you borrow, or you go without, or you spend next month's money handling this month's crisis, and the cycle keeps going. This is not a character flaw. This is what financial pressure actually feels like from the inside, and anybody who has never lived inside it does not fully understand it. But here's what is also true: within that tight margin, there is almost always something. Not $200, not $100, but something, and something handled correctly is where everything begins. Which brings us to Babylon. Here's the thing about Amara's situation: it is not new. It is not unique to this decade or this economy or this part of the world. In fact, a man named Arkad faced the exact same problem 2,000 years ago in ancient Babylon. He was a scribe. He copied documents for other people all day. His income was small by any measure, barely enough to cover his basic needs. And at the end of every month, like Amara, like maybe you, he had almost nothing left. Then his mentor, a wealthy moneylender named Algamish, told him something that changed everything. He said, "It matters not how small the amount. What matters is that you begin. The habit of saving is worth more than the size of the saving." Arkad went home and saved a portion of his next wages. A tiny portion, almost embarrassingly small, but he did it, and he never stopped. This is a principle that is over 2,000 years old, and it is the exact foundation of every step I'm about to walk you through. Stay with me because this next part is important. Step 1. Stop thinking about saving as a fixed number and start thinking about it as a percentage. This is the advice that changes everything for people on low income, and almost nobody talks about it this way. When a finance video says save $200 a month, that number is meaningless to someone earning $400. It is not achievable. It is not a goal. It is a wall. But if instead you think in percentages, suddenly everyone can start. 2% of $400 is $8 a month. $8, that sounds like nothing. Over 1 year, with nothing added, that is $96. Over 2 years, $192. And here is what matters more than those numbers. The person who saves $8 a month consistently is building something the person who saves nothing is not. They are building the identity of someone who saves. They are training the habit. And when income grows, the habit is already there waiting. Arkad did not start with a wealthy man's savings. He started with a scribe's percentage, tiny, consistent, and over time unstoppable. Start at 2%. When it feels comfortable, move to 5. When 5 feels normal, aim for 10. Do not jump to a number that breaks you in the first month and makes you give up. Build the muscle slowly and let it grow with your income. Amara started at 5%. 5% of $400 is $20. She moved it to a separate account on payday before she could spend it, and she moved on with her month. But step 1 alone was not what changed her situation. Step 2 did. Step 2, find the hidden leaks. On a low income, small spending that you barely notice becomes devastating because there is no buffer to absorb it. every unplanned expense, every small automatic charge, every purchase made out of social pressure rather than real need. It compounds against you silently. Here's what this looks like in real life. A mobile data bundle that auto-renews for slightly more than you expected. A small snack or drink bought out of habit every few days that you never count in your budget. Money sent to a family member or friend not because you had it, but because saying no felt impossible. None of these feel like problems in the moment. Each one feels small, but the average person on a low income loses 15 to 20% of their earnings to leaks they never consciously chose. That is $60 to $80 a month on a $400 income. Money that was never actually assigned anywhere. Amara sat down for 1 hour with her last month of spending, not to judge herself, just to look. She found a data bundle that had been auto-renewing at a higher rate for 3 months without her noticing. She found that she was buying small things on the way home 3 or 4 times a week. Each one felt tiny. Together they added up to about $18 a month. And she found that she had sent $12 to someone out of pressure, not genuine willingness. Total found $35 a month, more than 4 times what she thought she could save. And she found it in an hour. You will find something too. Maybe not $35, maybe more. But the leaks exist. They always exist, because we are not designed to track small numbers. We are designed to feel whether we are okay or not. And the small stuff slips through that feeling every single time. Stay with me, because this next part is important. Step 3. Create one extra income stream, and I mean the smallest possible version of that idea. I am not going to tell you to start a business. I'm not going to tell you to build a brand or become a content creator or learn a new skill from scratch. That takes time and energy you may not have. I'm going to tell you this. Look around you right now. Is there one thing you own that someone else would pay for? A piece of clothing, an old phone, a household item you no longer need? Selling one thing is not a business. It is a one-time act that puts money in your pocket this week. Is there one thing you can do that someone near you would pay a small amount for? Helping someone carry something, watching a neighbor's child for 2 hours, running an errand, cleaning something, one task, one time, not a commitment, not a hustle, just one exchange of effort for money. Even $20 extra a month is $240 a year. That is real. That is meaningful on a $400 income. Arkad did this too. When Algamish first taught him the saving rule, Arkad did not wait for his regular wages to grow. He offered to work extra nights copying documents, going beyond his normal hours to earn beyond his normal wage. He did not build an empire. He took one extra step, and that step gave the savings habit more to work with. Amara sold 2 items she had been meaning to sell for months. Total earned $45 over 6 months. Combined with her savings and the leaks she plugged, that number started to add up in a way she had never experienced before. Step 4. Protect your savings from yourself. This one is simple and non-negotiable. If your savings sit in the same account as your everyday spending money, they will get spent. Not because you are weak, because the brain does not distinguish between available money and saved money when there is pressure. It just sees the number and says, there is still something there. Open a second account if you can. Name it something that reminds you what it is for. Safety, future, do not touch. It does not matter what you call it. What matters is that the money is not visible in your daily account. If a second bank account is not available to you, a physical envelope works. Cash set aside in a specific place that is not your wallet. The point is separation. Out of sight, out of mind works both ways. When you do not see it, you do not spend it. Amara moved her savings to a separate account every single payday. She did not look at it. She did not count it in her head as spending money. It simply was not there. 6 months later, Amara has $340 saved. Her income did not change. She did not get a promotion. She did not launch a business. She found $35 in leaks. She was already losing. She saved 5% of her income automatically. She sold 2 things she owned and took 1 small paid task for a neighbor. And she kept her savings somewhere she could not casually reach for it. $340, that is not wealth. But it is the first time in her adult life that Amara has felt financially safe. There is a number in an account that belongs to her and nothing else, and that feeling, that small, quiet feeling of not being on the edge, changes how you walk through your days. It changes decisions, it changes your relationship with money, it changes what feels possible. Saving money on a low income is not about having more. It is about losing less, and that is something anyone can start today. If this video gave you something real, subscribe to Play Richly. A new money video drops every single week, built for real situations, not ideal ones. And next week we are going back to Babylon for the second law, the one about how to make your savings grow. You will not want to miss it. See you there.